Hi, everybody. It's Cassie Oelberg from Salem Grove, Pennsylvania. If you have been following along, then you saw that this weekend I made my 2025 goal and I went over 1,000 subscribers. So thank you, everybody, so much. You may have also noticed that an invitation went up. We are going to do our first ever live crop along. It is November 16th at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, and it's a Sunday evening. We are going to do the project playbook from the new gingerbread collection. So I'm hoping that you will all join in. We will crop along. We will have fun in the comments, and I'll do some prizes because who doesn't love prizes? And it's just a fun little way to say thank you because I am a goals girl. If you know me at all, you know I really like to set and make goals. So I really appreciate everybody helping me make that. Okay, let's get on to sketch number 1. Who was involved in the virtual crop last weekend? It was fun. It was crazy. I was having my Croptoberfest here too. It was so fun to walk through the room and see everybody working on, well, not everybody, but everybody who loves sketches like I do, working on the virtual crop. And I laid out my pages so that I would be ready to go. So let's go ahead and go over to my tabletop here. Okay, I think I have fixed all of the sound issues, so you guys should be hearing me loud and clear no matter where I am. And we are going to work on Virtual Crop Sketch 1. Now, one of the things that I do is when I'm working on a virtual crop, let me just straighten this a little, I go ahead and I work in whatever order I need to. So this was last virtual crop. And I was waiting for a page to come through that would be just a single page that I wanted to do as my beginner title page. So I decided that this one would be super fun for that. But that meant I needed to gather all the pictures that I needed to go before this happened. So this was day 1 on our trip to see baby girl. And I needed everything that we were going to use. And let me just show you all of the pictures that are happening. So I've got this fun. This was us arriving in Belgium. This was our flight over. This was us having dinner. This is my hubby having fun and my baby girl at the table. And we had ordered this great big platter of meat because who doesn't want more meat at the table? So anyway, I wanted all of this on this page. So I decided some peekaboos were in order because I didn't have enough to do a single first page plus a double page spread. And so I didn't want to go that route. And I didn't want to get rid of any of these pictures. I really wanted them all because here's my husband pointing out the Belgian beer. We were having super fun because Smurfs are from Belgium. And so we just wanted all of this. So I was like, okay, we can make this work. So let's talk about how to make this work. So I'm going to put these aside and we are going to start with this funness over here. Now, what's really fun about the virtual crop is if you go to our blog, which is now actually, they just did it a refresh and it's called the pages. It gives you little tips. So one of the things that it said was that you can use 2 of these, which is a super fun thing to do. But if you didn't want to use 2 of the larger mats, you could have just matted it. You know, you could have made yourself a 4.5 by 6.5. Well, actually, it would have been 13 strip and made it work too. So there were multiple ways to do exactly what using 2 of these mats would do. Just want to make sure you know that there are other ways to do it. So you're going to put these down and then it tells you to go ahead and kind of angle them. So I actually have stuff to get rid of at the top over here. And then you want to make sure, this is the part that you want to double check on. You want to make sure that whatever borders you're going to put down along the side, that they're going to be able to make it as far as you want them to make it. Because whatever angle you use, you could end up not being able to stretch it. So let's go ahead and look at this and see if we're happy with that. Okay. Yep, I got it just how I want it. I'm going to be super happy with that. So I'm going to go ahead and put these down. So I won't move one of them. And I almost always scrap with repositionable tape just because if I do mess up, no biggie, right? Okay, so now that's there, so it'll hold my spot. And we've got this one. Okay, so now we've got this down. I need to get rid of the stuff at the bottom. Now I could take my trimmer, or I could just use my my microtip scissors. I'm just going to go ahead and put this down here, and I'm going to line this up there and there. So my page is right along the little dotted lines, which is where the cutting is, and I can just trim that right off nice and quick. Okay, and then I'm going to do the same thing down here. Just line this up. And if I can do it with a trimmer, I do it with a trimmer. I love my microtip scissors. They're great for fussy cutting. They're great for getting stuff off, and they would have worked just fine. But if I can use a trimmer, that's like the fastest thing for me. Then I can go clean it up a little if I want to. So I think I'm happy with that. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add my borders. And I went ahead, I'm using the spring collection, which I absolutely love. And I just went ahead and used the borders from it. I don't have to punch anything. They're super cute. And I love how they layered these. So it already adds that little extra bit of a layer to it. So that's super fun. So I've got some dimension going on, and it's no extra work. And that just goes right up along the side. Okay. So now we've got this cool look that I wanted to get from the virtual crop, and love that. Okay, so the next thing is that these have two 4x4 photos here. And that's not what I have to work with, right? I really want this photo and this photo here. So I am going to go ahead and put these down, and they're going to fill up that spot right there. And I'm going to maybe even move them up just a tiny bit. So there we go. So now they're going to fit. And this one's going to go into a peekaboo. Now, this one is fun. I just want it there so I can write about it, but I don't necessarily need it to be shown on my first page. So this one's going to go in the peekaboo, and then I'm going to be able to talk about peekaboos a little bit and show you how to put a page protector on in case you are newer and need to know that. So then down here is where I'm going to go with my 4x4. So I'm going to go ahead, and these two pictures are going to go down here, and they will make for nice 4x4s. And I'm going to show you what I do when I'm lazy. So I did not grab my my nice, neat little photo trimmer, which, by the way, love. But I just brought this trimmer over. And sometimes you're going to be places and you're not going to bring all your stuff. So this is what you're going to do to not ruin your blade whenever you are doing this. So this is my old blade that was cutting just a little bit fuzzy on my designer paper and on my cardstock, but it has a P on it, and I keep it stored under there so that when I'm being lazy and I don't grab my my photo trimmer, then I can use this to trim my photos. And that just works really well for me. So now we're going to cut my arm out of here, and I don't have to worry about dulling the blade that I want to be able to cut that delicate paper, right? So now I've got this 4x4 photo. I'm going to take this one. I'm going to make it a 4x4 photo. And these are going to go on my page too. Okay. So the next thing I want to do is these are going to go here. And oftentimes whenever I do a photo, that's going to go on the page, I go ahead and I put a mat down there, because if I'm going to do a peekaboo, it's going to mat all the pictures, and I just think it looks super cute. I'm also going to put a mat, a journaling mat right down on the page. So I'm going to go ahead and cut myself a 4.5 by 4.5 mat. And I've been using a lot of this molten lava. It is just my absolute favorite. And then I'm going to cut a 4x4 journaling box. And when I cut my journaling boxes out of here, I end up with some funky cuts. And the reason is because I don't know what the next journaling box is going to be, and I need the lines to be able to go the ways I want them to. So I'm just going to cut this right out of here by bringing this down the front to 5 inches. So the cut line's at 4. And now I'm just cutting it right out of there, and I will have more options to cut journaling boxes later. And that just tends to work really well for me because I waste less lined paper, and I go through a lot of lined paper. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take this one down. And this is going to go right onto my page. My words will be hidden. And let's just go ahead and look how quickly this is coming together. Whoops, I'm using my mini. Not what I would normally do. And I ran out of my there we go. Words, Cassie. Use words. My repositionable. So that's okay. Now I'm going to pull in a page protector because page protector goes on before peekaboos. And this is how I open my cardstock and my page protectors, because otherwise sometimes I end up with little paper cuts. So I'm going to get us back up here on screen. That was my baby calling from Belgium. And I will call her back in a minute. See if I can get myself back up here. There we go. There we go. There we go. There we go. We're right in the middle of recording, and that's always fun. Bring this back up. Sorry for that little interruption. That's what we deal with as moms, right? Okay, back to peekaboos, and thank you for your patience. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and slide this page protector on. And when I do my page protectors, I make sure that my staples are over here. And I slide it on. And I kind of use my body to wiggle it. And when you have puffy things, remember, they might pop up a little bit. Just stick them back down. Tell them to go back where they're supposed to. And now we have this ready. Now let me just show you peekaboos real quick before we end. I wanted this one and I wanted these two. So when I put my peekaboos down, I put them down first and then I slide my pictures in, because no matter how hard I tell my brain to do it the right way, somehow I end up putting them backwards. So you just want to take the opening, goes on one side. This is going to flip on the other. That's how you can find that sticky. Fold it under. And then it just goes down on your page. And then you can take your picture and you can get it in there the right way. Now, I may do some journaling on the back, or if I find another picture I want, I may put that there. Going to do the same thing over here. Opening is on this side. Strip is over here. Flip this down. And that goes there. And now I want baby girl on top. I want him to flip up the right way. And voila, peekaboos. Okay, thank you for your patience. Sorry about the slight craziness, and you have a great day. I will see you next Tuesday, and don't forget to put November 16th on your calendar. I'll make sure she blocks that time out not to call. She's the only one that can break through my phone. Only one. Gotta love her. Okay, have a great day.